Yes, the miracles, the magic, whether you call it black magic or white magic, they all exist. And Islam teaches us in great details about all these things.
Yeah, can you differentiate how do they differ? Because they are miracles, they are magic, they are witchcraft. How does Quran differentiate them? And as a believer, how do I differentiate them?
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you very much. Let me begin by saying all these things that you have mentioned, these are called supernatural actions. So supernatural actions, they are divided into three. There is the first one, which in Arabic terms, it is called mu'jiza. Mu'jiza are supernatural actions that are performed by the prophets. And the purpose of these supernatural actions will be to prove to the people that this man is a real messenger of the Almighty God. And they also take into consideration the environment in which this man of God is, or the prophet is. In Islam, when we talk about mu'jiza, we are brought to light to look at these supernatural acts as performed by the various prophets of the Almighty God. And one outstanding characteristic in all these supernatural actions that were performed by the prophets, we will see that the greatest miracle of a prophet is to excel his people in the field in which they think that they excel. When we look at Moses, in his time, his people, they were excelling in magic. Now, you can see the example. When they would throw their sticks, they would turn into serpents.
Yeah.
They would do a lot of other supernatural acts. Now, Moses' greatest miracle was to defeat those people in the field that they thought they excelled. So what happened? When they threw their sticks and then they became, moving serpents, and everyone was amazed. God instructed Moses to throw down his stick, and behold, it became a huge serpent which swallowed up all these other serpents which the magician had faked. Yes. So now Moses excelled those people. Now they were defeated. When you look at the time of Jesus, his greatest miracle, it was to excel his people in the field that they thought they excelled. The people during the time of Jesus, they were great physicians. They could heal different types of diseases, but there were very few things that they could not do. They could not bring the dead back into life. They could not make the blind to see. They could not cure the leper. And they could not even make the deaf, the dumb to speak, or the deaf to hear. These were things that they could not do anything. But in other things, they were great physicians.
Yeah.
So Jesus now, where they ended, he picked up from there.
Yeah,
he made the dead to come back into life. And the Quran recollects all these miracles as performed by Jesus and also as performed by Moses. That Jesus, he made the dead back into life by the will and permission of the Almighty God. He made the blind to see. He made the deaf to hear. And this was his greatest miracle. The people were excelling in physics. And then we also look at Prophet Muhammad. If you ask, what were the people in his time excelling in? In his time, you will find this is a time of where people excelled in great memory and oratory. And these people were great demagogues. And their memory was amazing. A person could remember his genealogy up to 100th generation. He could tell you, my name is so and so, the son of so and so, who is the son of so and so, who is the son of so and so, until the 100th generation
comes up.
If I ask you, do you know the name of your father? Well, you might know.
Yes.
Do you know the name of your grandfather? Yes, you might know. Do you know the name of your great-grandfather? Now we start dropping a lot of other people now.
Yeah.
What about your great-grandfather's father? What about his father? What about his father? I bet you, if us seated here, if we can remember, if there is anyone who can remember their genealogy up to the 6th generation, I think all of us will be clapping hands for that person.
Yeah.
Why? Because this is something that is not common with us. It's very rare with us. So now, these people, they were great demagogues, great orators. They had great memory. And so the greatest miracle of Prophet Muhammad, it was the Quran itself. The level of its language, its oratory, and the accuracies of its contents, and a lot of other things. That does not mean that he did not have any supernatural acts which he performed other than the Quran. He performed many other supernatural acts. Like, for example, he pointed at the moon and it split into two, as it is recorded in the 54th chapter of the Quran. There are many other things that he did just from small bowl of milk that was able to feed a lot of other people. There are many people who were sick that were able to be, cured. So these supernatural acts that are performed by the prophets, in Arabic terminology, in Islamic terminology, they are known as mu'jiza. And what is their purpose? It is to prove to the people that this is indeed the messenger of God. If you look at after Moses, his serpent had swallowed up all the others. What the people now do? They believed that no. Even the magicians, they went on to say now, in the Quran it says, Amanna bi Rabbi Musa wa Harun. We believe in the Lord of Musa and Aaron. And the Pharaoh got infuriated. He got very angry. And he said, Amantum qabla an adhana lakum. How did you get to believe before I gave you permission to do so? Why? They could not wait. Why? They had seen that the power that is behind this is not ordinary power. It's not the power of magicians. When people saw the supernatural acts of Jesus, they believed that this person is no ordinary person. Why? Because it was beyond what the ordinary people could do. So the purpose was to strengthen the prophets and to make the people to believe that this one was indeed from God. Now we have the second type of supernatural acts, which are acts that are performed by the saintly people, known in Islamic terminology as awliya. And these are known as karamats, the companions of the prophets, the righteous people. God can also give them the ability to do many other things that are supernatural. And what is the purpose of these things? It is to strengthen the believers and also to help the believers. There are certain times when you would see people are stranded, and then there is this saintly person, and he comes and does a supernatural act, and you see the believers are helped out of their problem. And maybe they were going through hard times, and their resolve is also strengthened. So these are supernatural acts that are performed by saintly people. They are known as karamats. And then there is the third type, which is istidraj. Istidraj are supernatural acts that are performed by non-believers. And these are to the believers as a trial and a test. These now, that's when we will have all these things summed up together, the black magic, the sorcery, the witchcraft, and all that. In fact, in each one of these categories in Islam, it is enough to be a topic on its own. Because if I look at istidraj, or these supernatural acts that are performed by non-believers, in Islam, it's actually very great, to such an extent that it is one of the signs of the end of time. It is said that they will be the emergence of what is known as the Antichrist or the beast or Dajjal, who will be one-eyed, and he will be having supernatural powers. And through these supernatural powers, he will use it to mislead a lot of people. When people will see this, they are going to be amazed. It is said that he will be able to he will be having powers to cause droughts. He will be having powers to cause, the plants and the fruits and the vegetation to grow. So if you believe in him, he would make plants to grow, fruits to produce. And if you disbelieve in him, he will be able to even cause droughts in your nation or in your localities. So much so that you are going to go through difficult times until you give up your faith and you follow him. And why is that being done? It is to test the believer's faith. It is a trial for the believers. They must remain resolute and steadfast in spite of all this when that is to happen to them. But under that, after having spoken briefly about these three, Mu'jiza, Karamat, and Istidraj, there is generally this topic that we can talk about, which is sorcery, black magic, or you have people known as the clairvoyants, people who claim to know what is going to happen in years to come in the future. How does that happen? And you have people that are able, you can go to them. I have been to a place deep down in some villages. I stayed there for some time. I went to a house, and in this house, if you get there, the owner of the house, if he's not there, if you announce your presence, you will hear the reply. It is back, it is in Zimbabwe. I went to that place. And you will hear a reply that we are not here. Hatipo. It means we are not there.
Meaning they can hear you wherever they are.
Who is answering you? The man is not there. We know the man has gone to the city, but you are not just going to be left there wandering about.
And
you will be told that
where
there's
the
no
voice
one.
is coming from.
It will be just coming from the houses. So what is happening? There is a place, I know in my town, there is a place where it's actually known, it's called Kumabodo. There are these people, these Ingangas. They would go there. When they get there, you would actually be served pap, nice pap, hot, well cooked, with not even those lamps. You know, when you are making pap, sometimes you can make sadza with or pap with lamps. That one will be fine, super refined and nice and hot and tasty.
Even
and you'll be served. Yes, you will be served with nice fish, roasted. Where is it coming from? I remember this Inganga, they got there. These are accounts that I can relate from our childhood. They did whatever they did. They were clapping their hands and ululating. And all of a sudden, nice pots came out from the water. And people who were there, they were given the food. They ate to their fill. And after that, the same Inganga did whatever they did, and the pots went away. People were full. There were white people who were trying to build a railway passing through those mountains. And every time they would do some railway working, laying whatever the rails, tomorrow when they come back, everything will be back where they started the previous day. They could not do anything in that area. So now you will have questions like, what is happening here? There are people who are known to have been disappearing. When we studied our war of liberation, there were these war liberators who were known to disappear. If they were shot, the bullets would not kill them. What was happening with them? So in Islam, we are actually given answers to all this in detail. That's why I said this is actually a vast discussion on its own, on how does that happen? How do these sorcerers, how did these witches operate? And there are other people. Today you have people who are men of God, who are called prophets. They do miracles. And there are others, they are doing miracles, but if you ask fellow men of God, they will tell you, no, these are not real men of God. But they are doing miracles. Where are they getting their powers from? You go to the Ngangas, they have so much power. You go to some people, like people now who are very rich. Just yesterday, I was listening to a story of a young man who now got a job at a certain house, and he started developing a certain disease. And this disease, for it to be cured, he was told to do strange things. By who? By the boss. And the boss came out clear to him that whatever is happening to you, I know this and that is happening to you. In order for you to be cured, you have to do A, B, C, D. So now we ask questions. People ask questions that where is this coming from? How do you explain this? And also not only that, how can we protect ourselves from such actions?
That's the last two is part of my questioning. When we come back, I'm going to ask these questions. Marie,